At 4 a.m., the quiet streets of Melbourne were broken by the sharp crack of glass. Inside a family home, everything seemed still, until a mother opened her daughter's door and saw something no parent should ever witness. This is the tragic story of Celeste Mano, a young woman full of promise, whose kindness was mistaken for something darker, and whose cries for help went unanswered until it was too late. Born in Italy in 1996, Celeste moved with her family to Australia as a child. She grew up in a close-knit household, the youngest among her siblings, known for her empathy and her drive to help others. Her dream was to become a counselor, guiding people through crisis. She studied psychology and forensic science at RMIT while working at a telecommunications company called Xero. Even there, her colleagues admired her warmth and her ability to resolve conflicts. Celeste had a stable job, a loving family, and eventually a relationship with her boyfriend Chris. Her life was on track until she crossed paths with one man who would not let her go. That man was Louis Nader Sacco, an Iraqi immigrant born in 1985. Unlike Celeste, Louis struggled. Failed jobs, no lasting friendships, and a growing sense of being wronged by the world. In 2018, he briefly worked at Xero, where Celeste was a team leader. She treated him with the same kindness she gave everyone. But Louis misinterpreted it, convincing himself she felt something more. When he was dismissed from the company, Celeste escorted him out as part of her role. At the exit, he crossed a boundary, leaning in to kiss her cheek. Celeste was shocked, uncomfortable, but stayed composed. That night, she told her mother about the unsettling incident. Days later, Louis started flooding her Instagram with emotional messages, confessions of love, claims he couldn't eat or sleep without her, calling his feelings an addiction. Celeste responded kindly but firmly. She saw him only as a colleague, nothing more. But Louis refused to accept her words. His obsession only deepened. Over the next year, Louis sent more than 140 messages from multiple accounts. Each time she blocked him, he created a new profile. His tone swung from desperate adoration to anger and manipulation. He accused her of destroying him, hinted at self-harm, and tried to guilt her into responding. Frightened, Celeste and her mother went to the police. But because his messages contained no direct threats, officers told her to ignore him. Her fear grew, and she was right to be afraid. Finally, after months of harassment, police granted a restraining order against Louis in mid-2020. For a brief moment, Celeste felt safe. The messages stopped, but Louis hadn't moved on. He began watching her social media silently, studying her photos for clues about her life. When Celeste posted a picture with her boyfriend Chris, Louis snapped. To him, her happiness was not her choice. It was a betrayal. He bought a knife, studied her family's home, and waited. On November 16, 2020, at around 4:10 a.m., Louis climbed into Celeste's bedroom through a shattered window. Her mother rushed to the sound of breaking glass, but in those few seconds, Louis had already stabbed Celeste more than 20 times. The attack was over in minutes. By the time her mother entered, Celeste was gone. Neighbors heard the screams. Security cameras captured Louis fleeing. But instead of disappearing, he drove straight to a police station, covered in blood, blaming law enforcement for pushing him to the edge. The evidence was overwhelming: DNA, fingerprints, footage, and Louis' own words. But for nearly 3 years, the trial dragged on. Louis tried to claim hallucinations, even represented himself, forcing Celeste's grieving family to sit through his twisted version of events. Finally, in May 2023, he was sentenced to 36 years in prison, with parole possible after 30. For Celeste's family, it wasn't justice. Her mother said the court betrayed her daughter's memory, showing sympathy to a man who had never once shown remorse. Celeste Mano's story is not only about one young life stolen. It's about a system that dismissed warning signs, ignored pleas for help, and left a family to suffer the consequences. Celeste once told her friends, "He's going to kill me." She was right. Her story is a reminder. When someone says they're being stalked, when someone says they're afraid, believe them. It could save a life. Thank you for watching. If you found Celeste's story as haunting as we did, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more true crime documentaries. Your support helps keep these stories alive.